Hey guys, Tim and Dave here from the Single Malt Review. Welcome to the show once again. We've got another Irish on the table. Goodness me, what's this one, Dave?
Well, in the world there are a few names more synonymous with Irish whiskey than Jameson's. And we have a Jameson Black Barrel. Like all Jamesons, it's a triple distilled. What's different here, though, is that some of the bourbon casks used to mature it have been re-charred.
Double charred.
Extra, yes.
Though I think what this really is Jameson's, it's a bit of a Jameson's plus, because this one, double charred may be, this is definitely older spirit than your regular Jameson's by, I think, a pretty significant margin. And if my theory is correct, there's a lot more pot still gone in here as well. So,
I believe, as I recall, all, like for bourbon especially, the barrels are charred before they're filled the first time.
They are.
And it's fairly common practice to char them again sometimes before filling them again with whiskey.
Well, when your barrel's getting a bit, tired, then you'll get your man in there and he'll scrape it out, scrape all that old char off to expose some new wood, which will then need to be recharred, and to give you more of a generous surface, I guess, for your whiskey to sit there and communicate with as it ages. So that's probably what's gone on here, in addition to a few other things.
Yeah. So we're at 40% ABV, we chill filtered by default, and assume coloured based on that.
Oh, yes.
Very quite dark gold hue.
I mean, this is definitely older Jamesons, but I don't think it's that old. Not coming out of bourbon casks. So, yeah. So this is probably sipping Jamesons, I guess. Regular Jamesons is on this shelf. Jameson's Black is about on this shelf. So expect to pay a little bit more, but nothing ruinous. Nothing ruinous. Oh, but it lets you know. Aroma. Yeah, it lets you know immediately.
There's that nose reminds me of some of the stronger old bourbons we've tried in the past.
So
hoovered up that cask character.
Yeah, the absolute domineering aroma here, as you might expect from char and bourbon, is vanilla. There is just loads of sort of vanilla ice cream coming here. It's a very, very sweet nose, extremely sweet nose. Like a vanilla, I don't know if anything involves a vanilla syrup, vanilla drizzle over your ice cream, but it is very, very sort of confectionery.
I usually use vanilla syrup to zhuzh up my morning coffee.
Yeah. There you go, coffee syrups.
Yeah.
I've never been a coffee syrup kind of guy, but that's the perfect one.
I'm on a mission to cut down on sweetening and everything, so occasionally when I'm not going for a really bitter coffee, I put just a little tiny splash of vanilla in just to sweeten it, but not sugar it.
Just got to get on that black coffee train. Just choke it down, get going, cowboy up. That's my strategy with coffee. I hate the coffee and it hates me, but I drink it anyway. All right, so enough coffee talk. We've got a coffee Jameson's maybe coming up in the future, and that's a whole other disaster. So I don't know, stay primed for that one. This guy is you'd have to say 60% vanilla notes coming through on the nose, but there is a spice, which is probably what was giving you those bourbon flashes there. There's a sweet spice, it's nutmeg, there's a little bit of, not quite allspice, what is that? I think there's some cinnamon in there as well, but nutmeg is the big one.
Yes.
Right, on the palate. Shouldn't be too much of a problem at 40%.
Ooh, that is richly sweet and very bourbon-esque.
God damn, they say Irish whiskey is smooth. This is... You could see reflection in this.
You know what, that's reminding me overwhelmingly of... I believe it's Christian Brothers brandy, an American brandy that's matured in bourbon barrels. We have recorded it, but as of today's recording session, the video has not gone up on the internet because perhaps it's a bit niche or a bit odd.
In the doldrums of the file system.
It's in there, but yeah, so it's a brandy that's been matured through bourbon barrels. It comes out very bourbon-esque. It's almost like a bourbon liqueur, and there's a bit of that happening here.
Yeah, this is extremely sweet. This is about as sweet as whiskey gets. I'm going to hazard. Vanilla's still really, really strong. A whole lot of coconut coming through from that bourbon wood. And more of that
hints of almonds,
spiciness.
cinnamon. It's like a lot of traditional European desserts and confections happening here.
I think to compare this with regular Jamesons, which we have covered on the channel, and everyone should be familiar with your normal Jamesons, this is very, very different.
Yeah.
This is a lot more in common, I think, with the Jameson's Bold, which is one we've also covered on the channel, if you wanted to look it up. I thought it was very, very good, and it was a high pot still content blend of Jamesons. And so I think that's significantly what's going on here as well. I think they have, in addition to upping age and the cask types, they have goosed the amount of pot stilled rather than grain spirit gone in here, and that's where this tremendous richness is coming from. Because this is a pretty delectable whiskey. It's not going to win any awards for complexity or nuance, but goddamn if it isn't just satisfying to drink.
Yeah. Now, I've added a very scant amount of water here, knowing this is not a huge stretch to begin with. I want to see what happens anyway.
It might even give you up a fruit or two with a bit of extra water, if you're lucky.
Yeah, just a little hint of some tinned pears.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of red fruits now.
Just a smidge of Speyside Scotch whisky character.
So
just a little bit of, a little less sweet, a little more dry and fruity. Okay.
So I think as a not quite entry level, but a mere one shelf above, Jameson's entering the sipping spectrum, I think this does a really, really good job. If this was any sweeter, I think it might start to become overbearing, but it rides, albeit a dangerous line, I think it rides it really well. And it's a very, very Moorish whiskey.
Yeah.
It's a whiskey you could just, I could drink this whiskey all day and become a problem. But I would be perfectly happy doing so, because it really is, there's just the second, third, fourth, 20th sip just comes so easily. It's a really, really drinkable and really satisfying wee dram. It's not really one to engage the brain over. It just sort of let it take you away on the flavour journey, and away you go. Down the flavour water slide. Wee.
You don't really have to actively dive into this one.
No.
Just it passively hits you of all those flavours and their sweetness. You can just sit back and just let the whiskey happen to you.
And I haven't tried this, and will not try this, because I have not pre-prepared the customary ice cube. I'm sure this probably does fine with ice, but I don't think it really needs it, and I don't think it wants it. One, because I think this is probably as dilute as it wants to be. I don't think a significant amount of water is going to help this at all. I think it will cut down the concentration, and it will start to lose a bit of its lovely full body that it has. And also, I think this is really very good at room temperature. I think this is really put together as a sipping whiskey, and as a sipping whiskey, it does its best kind of work. So,
yeah, you can casually engage with it. You don't have to tax yourself. You can just, it is a very relaxing, sippable.
Yeah.
Anytime.
And I'm ready to score it. God damn it! We haven't done many scores for Irish blends, so. Not a lot of data on this particular map, so take it with whatever grain of salt you have to hand. But I think this is very, very enjoyable, very, very good. Not particularly complex or cerebral, but I'm not going to take that as a knock against it. I think this is an 87. I think it's really good stuff.
Yeah, I'm in a similar ballpark. 84 for me. It is getting up there. It is. It has so much going for it. It is easy to get into. It is not going to tax your wallet. It's not a super complex, ancient, many decades barrel matured beast. You can just pour it, enjoy it, share it, just have a good time with it.
Yeah, I think it's tremendous stuff, and it doesn't ask anything of the drinker. And as a sort of straight up upgrade from regular Jamesons, I think it does really well. If you like Jamesons, I don't think it's possible to hate this.
And if you think Jameson's regular Jameson is a bit simplistic or a bit immature, a bit lightweight, then this is a step up, and it may more appeal to your tastes.
Yeah, nice.
Especially if you like the sweeter end of whiskey spectrum, very much of the sweeter end.
Anyway, Jameson Black Barrel, another really good Irish one from Jameson's. They're kind of winning. We've had some hits and some misses from Irish distillers. Jameson's regular, really good. Jameson's bold, really good. This one, really good. So hey, Jameson's on a bit of a streak. I'm sure we'll get a dud eventually, but it's not today. So anyway, Slanger, thanks for tuning in, and we will be right back with something else. What do they say in Ireland except Slanger?
Slanger.
It's the same one.
It is the same word, slightly different pronunciation.
That Gaelic penetration is getting all through the islands up there. All right, see you next time.